to explain some of the challenges, again, as I mentioned, it's an enormous amount of effort, and you really have to put in, in thinking of your, year projection at your organization, thinking about what kind of time commitment you need to make. We work a lot with international photographers, and right now there's some challenges with getting international backers. If you don't have an Amazon account in Bangladesh, like, what do you do? There's definitely ways of getting around that. Like, we did post a campaign for a Bangladeshi photographer, and a bunch of his friends got around and they all wrote a check and sent it to someone who had an Amazon account. I mean, and actually that's kind of cool. That's an interesting kind of community organization phenomenon. But it is challenging to do that, and we have to think about that with our international reach and what projects are going to be most successful. I said this about older generation audiences, vulnerability of projects whose concepts are not rock solid a lot. This puts your concept out into a very public space, open for criticism, and sometimes that's really positive, but it can be challenging as well, and something to be aware of. I put this up because in the beginning when we started, we launched 2 projects at the same time. That was totally dumb. Don't ever do that. There's a chance of exhausting the sort of the community that you have as your initial network of people to reach out to. So it's good to be sensitive about that, and I think that it depends, of course, obviously, of what you're doing, but the photography community in general gets a lot of people asking for funds. It's an industry that's in pretty much crisis right now, and so there's a lot of photographers out there asking and using these platforms. And so it's really important to get outside of your immediate community, and we really try and do that. We get people who care. We try to reach people who care about the issues, not just the photography community itself. So yeah, I mean, I guess my main sort of advice is to, I've given a lot of points along the way, but social media is really important. Partnering is really important. Partnering with media, partnering with like-minded organizations to support these campaigns. You can't just do it yourself. You need other people coming in. I think setting realistic funding goals is super important. Really, what do you need, and not to try to raise more than that. I would say talk to someone who's done it before. I mean, everyone's done this before already, so find someone and counsel with them before you do it. I think there's a lot of little things in these platforms, and having someone sitting with you while you build the campaign might be helpful.
The Kickstarter project video is usually short. It's between 1 and 3 minutes. It's usually told in the first-person perspective. So it's, hi, my name is Stephanie, here's the thing I'm really excited about. I hope that you'll be excited about it too. You're really inviting people on a journey with you. Some people get really stressed out over their Kickstarter videos. Does it need to be super high production value? You need a lot of cuts and, I don't know, fancy things that I don't know anything about. The answer is it depends. It depends on the kind of project you're trying to run. I was just saying this earlier, I like to tell the story. There's plenty of people who have just, used their iPhone like this, true story, or had a friend hold it up for them. And really what's key is that you have great lighting, you have good sound, people can hear you, and you're able to share your message and be really personable. You're looking for that empathetic connection. If you're coming from an organizational perspective, then you really want to make sure you're showing the creative work and really getting people excited. So for instance, dance does really well on the site. There's nearly over a 70% success rate in dance. And I think it's because the dance videos are fun to watch.
Anything you see in a shot tells a story. So if you are shooting your organization that deals with issues in inner city, and you shoot something in a glam office in Midtown, there is a disconnect. So you have to think, everything you see in the frame has to support the story. So location is an important one. Talk to your video producer about equipment. Also, and this is a pre-production part, start gathering your assets, photos, your logo, graphics files, because I'm going to need all that stuff. And if you have to look for it then, it just takes more time. So if you have like if you send me an image of a logo that's this big, and I have to animate that, and it's flattened already, that's not helpful. So ask your graphic designer, keep those on file forever, you know, because you give me a layered file of your logo, then I can make it move. But if it's a picture like this, I have to recreate it. And that takes more time. And more time takes more money. You have to think about music for video. Also, music supports a video. If you have, you know, sad music or happy music or fast music or slow music, you have to own the rights to that music too. Your video producer should be able to help you with that as well. I think we talked about it a little bit before. Short and sweet is the way to go. If you know, I have a video that I will play in a little bit, and we'll turn the sound off because it's a 7-minute video. It's for Columbia University Medical Center for that gala, and we work for a large organization like that. It also becomes political. Oh, that doctor has to be in it, and he needs to be in it, and she needs to be in it too, and she has to say something, and that needs to be said. If you do that, it weakens the message. You know, you're saying so many things, and at the end, you actually say nothing because as a viewer, I get confused. We with Columbia Medical Center, we have gotten pretty good at it. It kept keeping them on point, but that is something to